Well, Donald Trump advisor Elon Musk says he hopes Europe and the US will move to what he's calling a zero tariff situation.
I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally in my view, to a zero tariff situation.
Elon Musk is a name everyone's heard of. Tesla. SpaceX, former Twitter genius of the modern age, a pioneer of innovations and a master of agenda setting. But this time Elon Musk is far from the powerful image we are used to. Because the wind of tariffs blowing in the US is dragging Tesla to the edge of the cliff, and now Musk is begging US President Donald Trump to step back from these tariffs. Yes, you did not hear wrong. Elon Musk has contacted Trump directly, and why? How much do these tariffs affect Tesla? And is this development not just a trade war, but a sign of a reshaping of the global economic balance of power? Let's take a closer look at all the developments. At first glance, the additional 25% tariff that the US will impose on electric vehicles imported from China seems to be targeting Chinese brands. But global giants like Tesla are feeling the biggest impact. Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory in China is the center of Model 3 and Model Y production. Parts and models from this factory are used for export to the US. With the new tariffs, the cost of these products will increase significantly. This is even directly reflected in Tesla's share prices. Yes, US President Donald Trump announced a sudden and sharp decision to pause the tariffs that came into force on April 2nd for 90 days. But is this a solution for Tesla or other giant US companies? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem so, because President Donald Trump announced that all reciprocal tariffs, with the exception of China, have entered into force but will not be applied for 3 months. The key issue here is China. After all, massive tariffs will continue to be imposed on China, the world's second largest economy. In fact, Trump said that tariffs will be increased from 104% to 125%. After China announced additional retaliatory tariffs against the US. Based on China's disrespect for world markets, I'm raising the United States tariffs on China to 125%, effective immediately, Trump said in a social media post. Hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of defrauding the United States and other countries are no longer sustainable or acceptable, he wrote. As long as there is such a heavy tax on China, the situation does not look good for Tesla or giant American companies, such as Apple and IBM. And it's not just China. Tesla's supply chain is also closely tied to North American countries, such as Canada and Mexico. While Canada is the main supplier of minerals such as nickel, lithium, and cobalt, which are of strategic importance for Tesla, Mexico is prominent in the production of printed circuit boards, which are of great importance for the automotive industry. In addition, Canada is one of the largest suppliers of aluminum to the US, while Mexico is one of the largest suppliers of steel. Potential retaliatory tariffs on materials imported from these countries could significantly increase Tesla's production costs. In addition, Canada and Mexico are also expected to impose retaliatory tariffs against the US. Canada, in particular, has indicated that it may restrict nickel exports to the US. Such a situation could jeopardize Tesla's access to the raw materials it needs in battery production. When all these factors combine, Tesla's global supply chain comes under immense pressure, as Tesla, which manufactures in the US, continues to work with parts from these countries. The chain of tariffs becomes an intertwined problem. In this sense, Tesla has already started to be excluded from some of the incentives. Elon Musk's political statements have further inflamed these discussions. In addition, Tesla manufactures in the US at facilities in Fremont and Texas. While this may seem like a big advantage, the company's supply chain is still global. On the other hand, the 25% tariff on vehicles assembled outside the US in April 2025 will hit not only Chinese brands, but also competitors such as Hyundai and Volkswagen. Vehicle prices could increase by $5,000 to $15,000. In the short term, this could bring Tesla customers, but the tariffs were suspended for 90 days except for China. Although this seems positive, Tesla will also have to deal with increasing import costs due to the huge 125% customs duty imposed on China. So this price advantage may not last long. As a result of these developments, Tesla CEO Elon Musk Musk reached out directly to U.S. President Donald Trump and called on him to withdraw the high tariffs on automobile imports. This call is considered to be one of the most striking disagreements between Musk and Trump. Beyond imposing a basic 10% tariff on all imports, the Trump administration is also planning to impose higher rates on some countries. Musk, on the other hand, stated that this approach would weaken America's competitiveness and conveyed the message that innovation, not walls, protects the U.S. despite Elon Musk's warnings. U.S. President Donald Trump has not backed down, threatening to impose tariffs of up to 125%, especially against China. These statements led to billions of dollars of losses in global markets, while Musk's fortune fell below the $300 billion mark. Although this initiative was inconclusive for about a month, Donald Trump's postponement of the tariffs for 90 days at least, except for China, shows that Musk's initiative and the reactions of the U.S. Senate and the business world have resulted positively. In particular, Elon Musk, who cooperates with the White House from time to time, takes a clear stance against the policies of Peter Navarro, one of Trump's advisors. This situation also brings to the surface the differences of opinion within the administration. The fact that Musk both manages companies like SpaceX that work with the state and takes such an active role in political decisions brings with it allegations of conflict of interest. On the other hand, the tower of tension has not only economic but also physical effects, as protests and vandalism against Tesla dealers and charging stations increased. The FBI formed a special task force to investigate these incidents. All these developments show that Elon Musk has become an influential figure, not only in the technology and space sector, but also in global trade and politics. Following these developments, Tesla shares fell 20% in 4 days, and 45% for the year. This means a loss of $585 billion in Tesla's market capitalization. For Elon Musk, it's a tens of billions of dollars in lost wealth. In fact, Tesla's financial performance was poor even before the tariffs. The company's quarterly report revealed a 13% sales decline, one of its weakest performances in recent years. Moreover, Musk, who donated $290 million in support of Trump, now sees his own company in the crosshairs due to the tariffs. As the trade wars deepen, Musk's position is becoming more complicated every day. Both his company and his personal fortune are under pressure. As Tesla shares fell for the 4th day, Elon Musk's patience ran out. His target was U.S. President Donald Trump's senior trade advisor, Peter Navarro. In response to Navarro's words, "Tesla is just an assembler," Musk made very harsh statements on the social media platform X. "Navarro is really a moron and dumber than a sack of bricks." He also referred to his PhD in economics from Harvard, saying this is not a good thing. Musk was supported by his brother, Kimball Musk, who called the tariffs a permanent tax on the American people. So is there a solution at the end of all this mess? According to Elon Musk, there is, and the solution is a comprehensive, free trade area between Europe and the US. Musk's fight against trade tariffs is not limited to criticism. It is now at the proposal stage. Musk said he hopes the US and Europe will move to a zero-tariff zone and build a stronger reciprocal partnership. His rationale is to protect both the US economy and companies. Like Tesla, he also reiterated his proposal to create a new Department of Government Efficiency to improve the efficiency of public spending. For now, President Trump has suspended tariffs for 90 days, including on Canada, Mexico, and the EU, but this is a temporary solution. Why are our factories in Europe exporting less to the US? Elon Musk has openly raised this question. According to him, Tesla's production capacity in Europe is not being fully utilized, and transatlantic trade is being undermined by unnecessary bureaucracy and protectionist walls. Speaking via video link at an event in Italy, Musk did not limit his proposal to the economy. In addition to free trade, Elon Musk argued that people should also be able to move more freely between Europe and North America. If a person wants to work in Europe or live in America, they should be able to do that, he said. He also emphasized that this was a direct recommendation to Trump. These statements show that Musk not only stands against current policies, but also proposes solutions for the future. If trade barriers are removed, global companies like Tesla will be able to operate more efficiently. The critical question now is, will Elon Musk's calls bear fruit? Can Tesla survive this crisis? Or is this the beginning of Tesla's much talked about collapse? Musk's begging to Trump is not only economic, but also symbolic. The giant of the technology age is now subject to the decisions of politicians. This picture hints at the future of not only Tesla, but also the world economy. Elon Musk is facing perhaps the toughest test of his career. On the one hand, Tesla trying to survive in the global market. On the other, economic policies that are shaped by political winds. This crisis is not just a company struggle. It is an important signal about how the new world order will be shaped. According to economists, such tariffs could shake not only the automobile industry, but also the overall price equilibrium, fueling inflation, increasing the risk of recession, and raising the cost of living for middle-class American families by thousands of dollars. This is where Elon Musk's call to survive through innovation is vital, because this fight will determine not only Tesla's future, but the future of all of us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to follow the developments closely. Thank you for watching us.